Right, so we are getting the list of countries here. We just need to find a way to show them in a nice way. So if we look at the design here, you can see the cards. So what we're going to do is create a country card and hopefully do something like this. Right, so back in VS Code, we are going to use the CLI to create the country card. So ng, actually we could, right, so here we can actually recycle one of these. So we have the ng generate component, want to put in the countries folder, and we want to name this component country card. So that should work for us. Right, so we have a new component created for us. Where is this one? It should be, yeah, there you are. So we have the country card here. What we can do is we can loop through the countries and show the cards here, just to check that everything's working. Right, so looking at the country list component, what we can do is, actually we could create a div with a container class, and in this div we can loop through the countries array, the countries of course, and show the country cards. So we could do something like just a div here for now, and we have app country card. I didn't even check. I think that's what it should be. And we'll just run the ng4 in here. So we should have a country, and we'll get the countries from what we've got up here. So we have the countries observable past the async pipe, and that should do it. Let's put a margin top here so it's not too close to the header, and let's see what we get back. Okay, so looking at the results in the browser, it looks like something is working. So just scrolling all the way up, you can see we have all the cards here, which is a good start, I think. So back in VS Code, we are going to pass the input property for the country card component. We haven't set that yet, but we're going to call that input property country, and then we'll pass the country variable here. So we're going to go into the country card component and set the input property. Again, I'm going to try one of my snippets, see if they'll work. Doesn't look like it's going to do it, but it's fine. So here we're going to bring in the @input decorator, and we want to, what do we want to name this input? Country, and then the type country. We're going to bring in the imports, and of course we're going to tell TypeScript to not complain about this being null or undefined. Just leave it alone. Just don't complain if it's undefined. And I think that's all we need to do for now. What we can do, actually, I think this component is going to be quite, or dumb if you like. It's not going to do much. So we can actually get rid of all of these. There's no reason to have this here if we're not going to use it. I don't think so. We'll find out. And also, because we're not doing that, we can actually set a comment change detection. we're going to set the change detection strategy to unpush. Come on. Now this is meant to give you some performance benefits, but most likely not much, because I don't think there's a lot of change detection happening here. But essentially what happens with this is that change detection will not run every time unless the input properties change. So that's meant to be a good thing for components that just deal with input properties. But I don't think we're going to get much benefit. So it's just good practice, but it's not really needed. Right, so now let's start working on the HTML. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an anchor tag for this. Of course, we're going to use a router link here. And once we click on that, we will go to the details page, but we don't have a detail page yet. So once you click on that, we'll go back to the home page. And then within this anchor tag, we're going to put a div in here. And that div will have the class card item. Now, again, I'm using Bootstrap, so I don't want to name it card because then I'll end up using Bootstrap class. So I'm going to, of course, change the name to card item, card grid, card, whatever you want. But I think I'm happy to stick to card item. So that is the class that we're going to style to hopefully give us this look. Right. Now the next thing to do is to add the image. So we have the image, as you can see, if you look at this design here, we have the image at the top of the card, and then below that we have all the other things. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this in and we could talk through it. So essentially, we have an image, and the image is going to be the country flag, and then we can add the card image class, or we could just style this image. We could target the image for the card item, and actually probably don't need this class, but we'll see. And then the card content, actually the image is part of the card, but we could say, yeah, we could actually decide to stick to card content. That's anything without the image. And for the country name, we could name this country name if you like, but I think title is okay. So we're going to style the H6. And here you don't get population and region and capital for every country, so we're only showing those if they're there. And for just so you could clearly see that this label class is just for the span. Here you could use description list, and yeah, you can actually use description list, and also target you could target it before. You could use this before pseudo class of the description list for these actually you could do after for the colon, so you don't need to actually put them in here, but it's fine. We're not using description list, but you can actually try that out. I think that would be quite useful for something like this. Right, so this is essentially the HTML, and here I'm using the number pipe. So if we don't have any population, of course you can show 0, but I don't think that's really necessary. You don't need to use the pipe here, but I think it looks nicer with the formatting and all that, so you should probably use the pipe as well. It's just good for formatting numbers. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to work on the card item class, the card image class, the card content, and yeah, just a couple more classes to look at. So that's what we're going to do next.